We don't have the time to just make and post full-length videos every single day while managing all our other social media and making the songs. Hey guys, in today's video, I want to talk about a good release strategy for smaller, independent artists as we're getting into the spring and summer of 2021. And I see a lot of videos about release strategies, but oftentimes it's just really unrealistic, in terms of spending a lot of money or already having connections, or just really unrealistic amounts of time spent on stuff like reaching out to radios and newspapers and all of this stuff. I think you gotta really be smart and intentional about how you spend your time. So I've broken it down into 5 or 6 different categories in terms of areas to focus on. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but each kind of has a defined role in terms of the likelihood of success and the risk, and then the amount of time, effort, and money spent on each one of them. Why don't we head on inside and I'll take you through my release strategy as an independent artist. Okay, so it might be a day later. I had a little bit of issues recording yesterday, but what I'm trying to do with this release strategy is bring my existing fan base over, because every release I want to pile on top of each other, build momentum, and I want to capture as many fans from my previous release as possible, have them listen multiple times, add to playlists, hopefully share the song. Then I want to bring in new fan base, and this is my main thing, is I want to bring in as many new listeners as possible each song, have it exponentially increase the amount of new listeners that come in each time. The other thing I'm trying to do here is balance the amount of risk for each of my marketing options. So I want some of them to be low risk, so I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to have some success, and I want some to be higher risk that are more moonshots. This is then countered with the amount of reward that each of these options has. Some will be lower reward, but it's more likely, and then some will be a higher reward, but it's less likely. And if you go about this approach every release, then sometimes the more risky options are going to pay out and you'll get these big bumps, but you're always doing the consistent marketing that's guaranteeing that you're going to have a base level amount of plays for each release. And then finally, the last variable that I'm considering is the amount of work and commitment that is required for each of these marketing strategies. Especially as independent artists with just one or maybe a couple people on your team, you've got to really allocate your time properly amongst your song creation and then amongst your marketing. We don't have the time to just make and post full-length videos every single day while managing all our other social media and making the songs. So we have to be realistic with how we go about this. Okay, so I've got 6 different marketing strategies that I want to use for my upcoming releases. And I'll use this chart here to demonstrate visually how each of the strategies are related to these different variables I just discussed. So the first strategy I want to use is a little bit different from the others, but this is something fundamental. It's just making a story around your song. And there's a few different ways you can go about this. The main way to go about this, which is actually really helpful on a number of different levels, is to collaborate with other musicians and artists. And this does a couple things. It generates a story that you can then use when you're marketing to Spotify editorial team or other playlists, other bloggers, etc. And when you're making your music video, any of this stuff. But then it also enables you to leverage their fan base a little bit. Whether they're really large or small, doesn't matter as much. You're just trying to build a community around you. And fans love to see collaborations. Only do this if it's within your style and your genre. Another option for this is doing remixes. And what this enables you to do is maybe even leverage another artist who's bigger than you, and then possibly even be able to monetize if you get the okay from the artist. But in general, a new fan base can relate better to your song if it's relatable, if they've already heard the original song. Other things in this category include just having a backstory to your song, so the lyrics mean something. You went to the forest and you cracked some sticks and recorded those to make your percussion. Any just weird things about the song. You want to always have each song have its own story that you can market then. So this strategy here is a little bit hard to categorize, but I'll do it anyway. We have it as a high for existing fan reach. Your existing fan base loves to hear these stories. You have it also high for the new fan base. People like something that's relatable in a certain way. You have a medium probability success. I don't know, I had to put something down here. And a high return and a high commitment. Okay, so the next marketing strategy is really aimed at getting your existing fan base over to your song, and this is using social media platforms. My two favorite are Instagram and YouTube, so that's what I'm going to talk about here. Instagram is just a great way to communicate with your existing fans. If people like you and listen to your music a lot, they're likely to follow you on Instagram. This is the main way that they can get updates about you and your future releases. So you can post updates about your song release, behind the scenes footage, short clips of your music video, and then obviously just constant story posts that show the more human side of you. For YouTube, you can show your music video obviously. You can have longer form videos about how you made the song, the stories, whatever you want to do, you can kind of build your own niche on YouTube. The thing is Instagram nowadays is not really that great for getting new fans over. YouTube is, but you do have to get fortunate to hit the algorithm. And oftentimes it's hard to get people to listen to your songs on Spotify via just YouTube. I'll put down a medium success probability, a medium return, and then a high commitment, because creating this type of content takes a lot of time and effort, especially filming YouTube videos, but even making high quality Instagram posts. You're gonna spend a lot of time on this content. It might be the second most amount of time that you spend on your work besides actually creating the music. Okay, let's go to the next category. This is kind of the engine behind getting new fans and just consistency, and this is Facebook ads. You can do retargeting campaigns, but in general, I've had the most success with reaching out and getting new fans over using Facebook ads. So I'm gonna put a low for existing fan reach, but then a high for new fan reach. As long as you study the platform a little bit, you're gonna be able to generate success with your advertisements. You're gonna be able to find an audience that really wants to go over to your song, that's gonna like your song, add it to their playlists, follow you as an artist, and they're likely to trigger the algorithms and get you on release radar and Discover Weekly. The return of this is medium. There is a ceiling of being able to get onto editorial playlists and really expand your reach, but in general, it's just giving you thousands, tens of thousands of streams that you can almost guarantee as long as you're spending a little bit of money. And the commitment isn't too much. You know, you have to create the ads, you have to spend a little bit of time analyzing how your ads are doing. Okay, now let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum, and this is TikTok. So for existing fan reach, I'll put a medium, because if some of your fans are on TikTok, then this kind of is similar to Instagram or YouTube. But the real amazing part about TikTok is the high algorithmic potential. You can reach an immense amount of people if you spike the algorithm. The success probability is lower. This is a little bit more of a risky endeavor, but the return is very high. And the commitment is medium. You know, it might be high depending on how much time you're putting into all of your TikToks, but you do need to be creating TikToks every day, every other day when your song first comes out. So it can be a little bit of work here. It's just you're making shorter videos, and they often don't have to be as polished as making YouTube videos or Instagram posts. Okay, so now let's move on to the fifth step of marketing. And that is something that might be a little bit controversial nowadays, and that is Submithub. And the reason for this is that playlisting is not the best way to go about marketing in 2021. What happens is people just listen through playlists passively, they don't like your song, and they don't really trigger the release radar and other algorithmic playlists within Spotify. You can actually damage the like ratio of your song because of just being put on a big playlist. You're not gonna really be reaching existing fans using Submithub, but you will be reaching new fans with a medium success probability and a medium return. The commitment is very low though. It's just go on the platform, upload your single, write a few sentences about it, you know, your backstory, and then submit to whoever you want to submit to. But what I'm gonna be doing specifically for Submithub is submitting to some blogs, maybe some influencers, instead of submitting directly to playlists. And what this will do is generate a little bit of buzz about my song online. And if you look at the Spotify algorithms, they actually not only monitor how your song is doing on Spotify, but also how much your song is being talked about online. You can also submit to some YouTube channels on Submithub. Okay, now finally, let's talk about sync deals. So getting your song onto TV shows, movies, just internet videos can be a great way to get new fans who will Shazam your song and come over to your profiles. This doesn't really hit your existing fans too much, but it can generate new fans. There is competition within the sync market, so you might have a low probability of success, but then you can have a medium, even a high return if you're really lucky, and it's a medium to low amount of commitment. What you can do is you can market on Facebook ads to get onto sync deals. You can go to certain websites for sync, or you can try to find people within the sync industry, find publishers and reach out to them. But it does require a little bit of searching and a little bit of work. So once we step back and take a look at all of these strategies, what you can see is your social medias can help generate your existing fan reach. You know, as soon as live shows come back, that also will hit your existing fan base. Then if you look at the new fan base, Facebook ads is the main thing, but also TikTok as your kind of moonshot. And the Submithub and sync deals are a little bit extra in that category. And overall, the commitment is kind of spread out. So you're spending a decent amount of time making content, making the song and the song story, and then less time on the ads, the TikTok videos, and your communications with Submithub and sync deals. Let me know what you guys think, if I got any of this wrong, if there's other things I should be targeting with my marketing nowadays. I'd love to hear what your approaches are. And stay tuned for my new release where I'm going to be exercising this strategy in the coming weeks. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.